Europe has long been a land of opportunity, drawing millions of people looking for a better life. But as economies struggle, governments change, and security concerns rise, some countries are taking drastic steps to stop migration. Stay tuned as we list the 10 European countries that have closed their borders to immigrants this year. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the bell icon to make sure you don't miss more interesting videos like this. Number 10, Denmark. Used to be one of the most welcoming places in Europe for immigrants, but things changed quickly in 2012. The government put strict limits on asylum seekers and drastically cut the number of work permits it gave out. Officials say that economic pressure and problems integrating newcomers from other cultures are the main reasons for these changes. After years of heated arguments about immigration, the Danish government changed its policy. Many Danes say that the country's welfare system is already overworked and can't handle a constant influx of newcomers. In response, Denmark made it a law that immigrants must pass tougher language and cultural exams before they can get permanent residency. Security concerns were also a big reason for the new restrictions. The government is worried about crime and social cohesion and says that tighter border controls will make society better and more stable. As a result, Denmark is one of the least accessible European countries for migrants in 2025. Number 9, Finland, which is known for its high quality of life and world-class education system, made a big change to its immigration policy in early 2025. The government said there would be stricter border controls, citing rising unemployment and economic stress as main reasons. Officials say that putting citizens ahead of newcomers is necessary. This comes after years of debate about Finland's ability to integrate immigrants. Many people say that the country's social services are already overloaded and that more immigration could make the problem worse. As a result, the number of asylum applications has dropped dramatically, and it is now almost impossible to get a new work visa. Security is another thing that led to the choice. Concerns about border security have grown in Finland, especially as tensions rise in Eastern Europe. The government has also increased the number of illegal migrants it deports, making it clear that immigration policies will not be loosening anytime soon. Number 8, Sweden. Used to be known for its open-door views on immigration, but in 2025, they changed their minds in a big way. As worries about crime have made social services and the economy more difficult, the government has put strict limits on immigrants. Compared to 2024, the number of asylum seekers who were allowed to come in has dropped by almost 70%. This change comes after years of rising public unhappiness with Sweden's old policies. Many people in Sweden say that the government hasn't been able to properly integrate immigrants, which has caused social unrest. As a result, all new applications must now go through stricter background checks and take longer to process. Security worries played a big role in Sweden's decision. The government has linked some crimes to undocumented immigration, which has led to stricter policies on removal. Police have also increased patrols at the borders, which makes it harder for people to come into the country illegally. Number 7, Austria, has had a hard time finding a balance between its need for workers and its citizens' worries about immigration for a long time. In 2025, the government decided to take a firm stance, enacting some of the strictest immigration laws in the EU. Asylum requests are being turned down at record high rates. With unemployment at 6.5% and inflation at 6.5%, economic worries played a big role in this choice. On the rise, Austrian leaders say the country can't afford to take in more migrants, and many citizens are worried that housing problems and wage competition will get worse if immigration keeps going unchecked. Austria has also stepped up its deportation efforts, and people who didn't meet the country's strict residency requirements are being sent away faster than ever. Even humanitarian groups have had a hard time fighting these new rules, which are meant to protect the country's cultural identity. More strict language standards have been put in place in Austria so that immigrants must now pass advanced German tests before they can stay for a long time. Number 6, Netherlands, which used to be a center for international talent and a supporter of multiculturalism, has become very strict on immigration. Since 2025, the government has greatly decreased the number of asylum permits it gives out and the rate at which it approves new work visas. Officials say these changes are necessary to ease concerns about housing shortages and the strain on public services. The housing crisis is one of the main reasons for this policy change. With rental prices going up in social housing and a lack of available units, the Dutch government says that limiting immigration is needed to keep the market stable. However, many Dutch people believe that a lot of newcomers has made the housing crisis worse. In addition to housing, the country's healthcare system has also been having trouble keeping up. Demand for medical treatments with long wait times. More and more lawmakers have pushed for policies that put Dutch citizens ahead of newcomers. As a result, it's harder for even legal immigrants to get to services they need. It has also become hard for foreign workers to find work. Many industries that used to depend on migrant workers, like tech and leisure, now have stricter rules from the government. Number 5, Belgium. In 2025, Belgium, a country known for its long past and international influence, made it much harder for people to come to the country. The government put in place stricter border controls and limited asylum applications, saying that too many people coming to the country would hurt the economy and make it harder for people to fit in with their new neighbors. Compared to last year, the number of asylum cases that were accepted has dropped by almost 60%. A lot of people are having trouble with the rental market in Belgium. It's hard for both locals and newcomers to find a place to live because rental prices are going up and there isn't enough cheap housing. Government officials say that limiting immigration is needed to protect public resources and stop more economic problems. Concerns about security have also played a role in these limits. The government has increased border police and made background checks on people coming in from other countries more thorough. It is getting harder and harder to become a resident of Belgium if you don't have a good job offer or family ties there. Number 4, Germany. Used to be one of the friendliest places in Europe for newcomers, but now it has some of the strictest immigration rules. Since 2025, the government has cut down on asylum requests, made it harder to get a visa, and sent more undocumented migrants back to their home countries. Germany is having trouble with its economy and is under political pressure to stop immigrants. Concerns have been raised about rising unemployment, which will reach 7.5% in early 2025. The German government has said that limiting immigration will help create more jobs for its people. Many businesses now have to show that they can't find any German workers before they can hire someone from another country. A big part of these policy changes has also been bringing people together. Officials in Spain say that previous immigration policies made it hard for newcomers to fit in, which caused social problems. As a result, Germany has made it more difficult to get permanent residency by requiring tighter language and cultural requirements. Number 3, France, which has been at the center of European immigration debates for a long time, has become stricter. In 2025, a wave of policy changes drastically cut the number of work and asylum permits issued, making it harder than ever for foreigners to settle in the country. Many of these measures are meant to help the economy. One of the main reasons is that people are becoming less happy with immigrants. Unemployment is the reason for these limits. Unemployment rates in France rose to 9% in early 2025, putting a lot of stress on the job market. The government says that putting work for French people first is important for the economy to recover. Tougher immigration rules have also been caused by worries about safety. As people become more worried about crime and social unrest in some cities, the French government has tightened controls at the borders and done more background checks on all visa applications. Number 2, Italy has taken one of the strictest views on immigration in 2025, greatly tightening its border controls. New rules have greatly decreased the number of asylum seekers allowed into the country, and crackdowns on illegal immigration have been stepped up. The government says these steps are needed to protect Italy's economy and national security. And economic problems have been a major factor in these policies. The government of Italy has had to put work and resources first because of the country's debt crisis and slow GDP growth. Citizens, young Italians, are still out of work. High is making the push for stricter immigration rules even stronger. The situation with refugees has also made there are closed borders and continued unrest in some parts of Africa and the Middle East. Italy has been a main entry point for migrants. To stop too many people from coming, the government has increased naval searches and tightened visa approvals. Rent prices have gone up over 15% in the last year, making it harder for new immigrants to settle down in places like Rome and Milan, where living costs are going up. Number 1, United Kingdom. The UK is at the top of the list because it has taken some of the harshest steps to close its borders in 2025. This comes after years of debate about immigration, during which the UK government drastically cut the number of work cards. Asylum applications and family reunifications, the country has put in place new rules that make it one of the hardest places in Europe for immigrants to move to. One of the main reasons for this change is the ongoing economic strain, with inflation rising and job opportunities decreasing. Officials say that putting British citizens first in the workforce is necessary, as the unemployment rate has risen to 5.8% as of early 2025, putting pressure on the government to make immigration rules stricter. More worries about safety have also played a big role in limiting the border. Background checks have been stepped up, deportation rules have been made tougher, and visa screening has become more thorough. The fight against illegal immigrants has stepped up, and people caught entering the country without papers will face harsher punishments. Please tell us what you think in the comments, and don't forget to like, follow, and look around our channel for more videos about how the world is changing. Thanks for watching.